Welcome back to the Conversion Stack. We have an awesome guest today, Vlad Negron, our Director of Marketing. And we're going to talk something really fun and really unique, is the value of project management and soft skills in marketing. We're going to talk about AI, we're going to talk about stakeholder management, we're going to talk about timelines, scopes, all these awesome things that we tend to believe actually help speed up creativity and speed and agility. So let's dive in, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Let's go. Vlad, we're talking project management. So let's dig into speed and effectiveness. This is a tough one. We do digital marketing. The client doesn't always understand what it might take to do something. And often they'll come to you and say, hey, we need a landing page for this vertical. Do we have that? Yeah, do it. And you know, we tend to believe we're extremely fast, but we also understand that fast to us is very different than fast to them. They might think it's a week long, where we're like, okay, we need to figure out the content, we need to wireframe, we need to design, we need to develop, we need to test, and we need to launch. And we think we can do that faster than most firms because we're full stack and we do it all in-house. But I mean, speed and effectiveness itself is relative, right?
Yeah.
So let's dig into that a little bit.
I love it. You hit on speed a lot, so let's work there, and I'll work backwards because I got some good stuff on effectiveness too. But speed, you talked about relativity. To me, it's like all subjective, right?
Yeah.
To me, fast might be okay. Well, you brought up building a landing page. I'm not a developer. Fast might be okay. You could take 2 weeks doing that, right? Mm-hmm. And for some of these bigger companies, they might come in and maybe they've been accustomed where a landing page takes 2 months.
Yeah.
And somebody else building with some tool, like I could do that in 2 hours. Why is it? So all of that to say that like speed is very relative, is very subjective. In project management, I'm going to throw this out for the PMs out in the world. We tend to have a triple constraint model that we're looking at. So we have, if you're looking at like kind of like a triangle, you got scope, cost, and time. Mm-hmm. They're all interconnected. And what ends up happening is that you increase or decrease one. What's supposed to happen more often than not is that the others get impacted.
Yeah.
Whether it's you start a project and, hey, the budget you thought you had just got decreased.
Yep.
What are you going to do? And I know the CEO and you thinking just do it, but just do it better with less, right? But realistically, each of those are connected. Some other quick examples would be when we talked about cost, scope just increased. What are we going to do? Or time tends to be kind of the third part where if you get impacted on one, time either goes up or time goes down. So sometimes it could be a benefit, and other times it could be a detractor. But getting speed, to me, is like understanding speed is not equal to agility. So for that, like, I mean, being agile can improve the speed at which you complete the project, but it's not necessarily that, like, you're doing things faster. You're just doing things in a different way. Maybe you're stacking things up. Maybe you're utilizing resources that you hadn't considered before. Mm-hmm. So being agile isn't necessarily being speedy. There can be different parts. And for me, like from a marketing standpoint, if you incorporate agile methodologies to accomplish things in less time, to be done in more traditional ways. So for the landing page example that we've talked about a couple of times, maybe you realize, okay, you have more resources to pull in. Maybe it's you realize that the scope it's been decided can be pulled down and you're just getting this, and later on you can add more to that landing page. Just a lot of different ways to come about it on the speed front. And then do you want to hear about the effectiveness front?
Yeah.
So here's an interesting one, and for the project managers, you'll understand this fully. A whopping 70% of all projects fail to deliver what was promised to customers. So that one's like, whoa.
Yeah.
But Here's the flip side of that. However, that failure rate drops to 20% or below when a formal project management process is implemented. So this is, are you just saying you're doing project management, or are you actually doing project management?
Yeah. Man, we should track that as a metric at our company.
Yes. I'll tell the director of marketing about that.
I love it. So speed and effectiveness. I guess I'll wrap up with the thought that you talked about big companies versus small companies, and speed is so relative. It's a startup might want a landing page in 2 weeks, right? We've worked with 10,000 employee companies that, geez, if you can if you can deliver a landing page in a quarter, they're just fist pumping,
Right.
because it's just so relative, and part of it just kind of seems to go back to stakeholder management and just alignment.
Right.
X client needs a landing page by next week. If we're really aligned, they would have told us 3 weeks ago. So we're in line with their product rollout or their new vertical, and we actually be on time. But if we're not fully aligned, and they really understand how we work and the expectation, they're coming to us today,
Right.
needing that landing page for next week because they didn't communicate the new product rollout or anything of that sort. And now we're off sync. Right?
And
So
you
I
fall
think-
into the trap of whack-a-mole marketing, right?
Yeah.
Which we hate.
Yep.
You just flavor of the week. What are we going to do this week?
Yeah. Or we're just scrambling and the output doesn't meet our expectations. And part of the problem today that we talk a lot about is, yes, I can easily go to Webflow and give you a landing page tomorrow. Really, we could do that if we needed to. But digital marketing with today's mature consumer, especially in B2B SaaS where we do a lot of work, we tend to believe that anything other than flawless execution is unacceptable. So
Yeah.
if you need someone to pump out a Webflow landing page for you tomorrow, we're not that partner, right? If you're someone that's trying to go from 10 million ARR to 100 million ARR and you have a mature leadership team that understands what it takes to get there, we're the partner for you guys. So there's just so much nuance to speed and effectiveness, and I think that's a really fun topic.